everyone, Meg here. I wanted to take a few minutes and do a review on my breast pump. I know it's silly, but at the same time, a lot of people use these, and over the last few years there's been some developments as far as the manufacturers that have breast pumps available in the United States. One of the tried and true brands that has been around forever was the Medela, which is what I had used in the past and had always known to be very good, and of course what they seemed to recommend in the hospital. So for me, that's all I ever knew. And then as I spent time recently on some of the forums with breastfeeding and pumping, I had heard about a new pump called the Spectra, which has only been in the United States for a very short amount of time. So anyways, I qualified for a new pump through my insurance, so one of those was the Spectrum. And so I just decided to bite the bullet and try it, since I had already seen so many great rave reviews online from these other ladies using it. So anyway, I'll preface this by saying that I have used pretty much every other pump out there. I used the first year's Me Go pump years ago. I've used the Medela Symphony. I've used the Medela Pump and Style. I've used the Hygia Q, which is the closed system, and then I've also used the Medela Lactina as well. So I've used quite a few pumps prior to getting this, and so I guess you could say that I have test driven a lot of them and have a lot to compare it to. So I figured I would do a review for those of you who may be looking into either purchasing or getting one of these breast pumps through your insurance company. So I have the Spectra S2. And the Spectra S1 and the Spectra S2, there's really only a little bit of difference between the two, and that is that the Spectra S1 has a rechargeable battery pack so that you can pump when you are not with electricity. So for some people that is super important if you're pumping in the car or if you lose power often. I don't know. For me, I can't think of many reasons why I would need the rechargeable battery pack. I have a regular outlet plug in my car, so I don't even need a car adapter. And a lot of newer vehicles come with AC adapters in them for you to be able to plug things into directly like a regular plug. So, you know, but for some people, they like that. So anyways, I got the Spectra S2 because I didn't need the rechargeable function. And what I can tell you is, hands down, I absolutely love it compared to the other pumps. If I had to compare all of them and line them up and, you know, give you my number one recommendation, I would definitely recommend the Spectra. There's a few reasons behind that. One is that this is a closed system, like a hospital grade. So like these things right here are what they call backflow protectors that keep milk from spilling into the tubes and actually getting into your machine. So it's a closed system pump, and it's also got a much stronger motor in it. Like the suction that it has is just much higher than the Pump and Style Advanced that I was using by I think about 50 HG, whatever that is. So I like it because it's stronger, but you also wouldn't know it because it's gentler. It's really, really, really gentle. It has a really neat, I guess you would say, suckling action. I don't know. That's what they say on their website. That's what they, you know, they're coined their, you know, catchphrase as. So I prefer it. And then there's also like a slight vibration too that comes from the pump itself, and kind of like, you know, goes through the tubing into the flanges themselves and causes a little bit of a vibration, which is for some maybe bothersome. I find it relaxing and comfortable in the sense that I don't have any pain during my pumping sessions, and I don't have I don't know, just like that pinching, pulling feeling. I don't know, it's hard to describe unless you are a pumper. There's not really any other way to describe it. So, anyways, for that reason, I really like it. It's much more gentler. And I would compare it, frankly, to the Symphony. You know, I hear most ladies compare it to the Symphony, the Medela Symphony, which is the hospital grade that you get if your baby's in the NICU or something. And I would also venture to say that it's comparable for sure as far as output goes and, you know, just durability and everything else. I prefer it. Okay, so I will show you. Spectra has their own set of, you know, flanges and collection cups, which have bottles that come with it with tops and stuff too. When you order the pump, it comes with little preemie nipples and things like that. I never use them. My babies use different bottles. So, but they are wider neck. So I don't know if you can see, it's much wider than a typical Medela bottle. And so for these, I know some people use the Advent bottles. I don't. I use the Munchkin Latch, which is a little bit wider, but the Advent is about this size. And I know for some ladies, they just screw these right onto their Advent bottles, and you can pump right into that. Same with the Dr. Brown's wide neck. There are also little adapters that you can get so that you can pump into a Medela bottle. You can see the difference between the two. It's clearly one's bigger than the other. So there's an adapter that you can get through the Spectra site, and it screws onto your Medela bottle and then onto your flange. Oops, there's my bottle. So that way you can use your Medela collection bottles. I have a ton of these laying around, so I did end up getting them to use them. There is also an adapter that goes on to the end of this, so that you can actually use all of your Medela flanges and everything else too. I haven't done that. My FSA covered all of the Spectra stuff, so I just got the Spectra stuff. I figured why not? You can never have enough collection bottles. The other thing I really like that they offer is the silicone massagers for your flanges. These go in to your flange. They set in to your flanges, and for me, I think, you know, it narrows this a little bit because they only come in 27 or 24 millimeter flanges, and I really almost need like a 22 or 21. And so with the silicone insert, it totally does what it needs to do, and I find it's more comfortable. My output's a little bit better. You know, you do have to work and be cautious on positioning so there isn't pinching when you first, you know, start your pumping cycle. But other than that, it's pretty good. I will pump. I will turn on the pump just so that you might be able to get a little bit of a. I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know, it's hard to hear. I got a lot of other background noise in here, baby toys and everything else. But it's really quiet. And like I said, it's just very comfortable and all around a much better pump. I would recommend it hands down. You know, the other cool thing is too, you know, like Spectra gives these valves. They're like the silicone duckbill valves. You can also use the Medela membrane valves that come with your other stuff. Those fit interchangeably on there too, so that's nice, just because Spectras are a little overpriced, in my opinion. Granted, my FSA card covered most of the accessories, so I wasn't complaining too much. I had to use it before the end of the year. But, you know, all in all, great pump. I prefer it. You know, there's another neat little night light function. I don't know if you can see, there's a little light that comes on and off on here. And, you know, it shows you everything. You can do a sequence of buttons, and it shows you how many hours you've pumped. So if you want to resell it, you can actually show and see how many hours the machine has been used in total. You know, there's just a bunch of really neat things. Like, okay, so, you know, I like the individual controls too. So, I don't know if you can see, but there is a vacuum up and down, so you can control how strong the vacuum in the suction is, and then the cycles, you know, each, you know, cycle for, you know, how many cycles you get per minute, you know, suctions rather, you can adjust that up and down so that you can make the suction cycle faster or not, depending on your personal preference and what you respond to. Because let's face it, I don't respond to a one-size-fits-all motor, and I need to adjust it sometimes halfway throughout my pumping session. So it also has the massaging let-down function, just like the Pump and Style Advanced and the Symphony. So I like it for that too. It has that really nice function where the Hygieia didn't. I had to manually do that often, and I didn't like that. And the Lactina, of course, doesn't have any controls at all. And the Symphony, I couldn't even get my hands on as far as renting goes. I had it in the hospital, and I wasn't about to pay $100 a month through some other company to rent it. So I ended up with this, and I definitely prefer it most definitely over all of the other ones I've tried. So if you are in the market for a breast pump and you're looking into them, and you have Spectra on your list of approved breast pumps, and you're not sure what it is or you've never heard of it, I hope this review was helpful. I'm not a professional reviewer. I did not get paid for this. I got no perks from the company. I'm just doing this because I'm hoping it helps somebody else as they navigate these waters of breast pumps, because there is so many different options out there, and you would be surprised how confusing it can be. And depending on your pumping needs, some people can get away with a totally basic manual pump, and some people end up needing to have really durable, good electric pumps. I unfortunately had to use the electric pump because my twins had latching issues. They were premature. They had tongue ties. I'm fortunate to still have one twin that does nurse, and but I still end up having to pump after feedings to keep my supply up. And when he is lazy with his eating, I end up having to pump most of the day anyways, and just give it to him in a bottle. So I'm a part-time pumper, I guess you would say. I pump mostly during the day and nurse at night. But considering how much I do, I have developed a pretty good relationship with my pump. And so having a good one is important if you plan on pumping long-term for any reason at all. Even if it's just once a day, I recommend having something that you enjoy using. So that is my review on the Spectra S2. I hope that wasn't too choppy or ridiculous, and that there was enough information that was easy to understand in there. And that's pretty much it. Thanks, guys.